Greetings, fellow adventurers. Today we're gonna talk about a character that makes very evident how the experiences we face in our childhood can shape our paths. Thorfinn from Vinland Saga is our guy. And on this video we are gonna talk about the life lessons we can take from him up to the second season. I'm not following up with the manga, so this is only based on the anime. Until this moment, we saw a happy kid thinking he knew best. Suddenly, he became a revenge machine, and then later he became a lost man trying to find a new purpose in life. Thorfinn's story is that big dose of human reality. It shows very clearly how humans can be pretty complex and also pretty bad sometimes. Thorfinn lived a happy life in his village in Iceland, and he really looked up to his dad. As a child, he was very friendly and bright, he had a happy face, and he was a very curious kid. However, all the curiosity had a price. After sneaking to his dad's boat and watching him die, that moment changed his life forever. The only thing he could think of was revenge, and there was nothing else. He then joined Askeladd's band with the intention to kill him at some point, and do all the tasks that Askeladd would give him. He became a cold and bad-tempered little man. Later, things didn't exactly improve when he failed to do that one thing he ever wanted. When Askeladd died, Thorfinn lost his purpose. He became a slave and also a little numb. He took a long time to find meaning in life again. Even if his journey is still in progress, Thorfinn gives us a shade of reality that many of us would prefer to avoid. But despite all the negative aspects, there's a lot we can learn from him, so let's have a look. Lesson 1. Choose your purpose carefully. When Thor died, Thorfinn not only lost his dad, he also lost his purpose. His dad was invincible for him, a true example. And facing the reality that his hero was only human and died in those circumstances made the grief even harder for him. The proof is that he never actually worked on his grief. He didn't start to move on until the end of the second season. In life, we are all different. We all have our own time, and we should respect our limits. However, we should be able to see when we are spending too much of our energy into something that won't actually give us anything in return. Askeladd's death could bring a sense of justice to Thorfinn, but it wouldn't actually bring his dad back. It wouldn't modify the change that happened in everyone's life in that village after Thor's death. As far as revenge is not something positive, it's natural to look for it when it's hard to let things go. However, make sure to don't be blinded by your emotions. Reflect about the circumstances you're facing. Do your best to let go of things you cannot control and choose a purpose that will make you wiser. Look for your own Vinland. Lesson 2. You don't have enemies. It's unreal to see Thorfinn's change of a path full of death to a path where no one is his enemy. Thorfinn came to realize that everyone is living their own lives, just like us. Everyone have their own motivations, fears, desires, or feelings that maybe even then cannot understand. In other words, he understood, like we should as well, that everyone is simply a big mess. We shouldn't allow others to harm us in any way, but we should understand that the context behind their actions is not as black and white as we may think. It's simple to say but very hard to practice, so try to make that phrase, "don't take things personally," your daily affirmation. You won't become a saint, but trying to separate things and understand where others are coming from will make your life more light, so you should totally give it a go. Lesson 3. We can learn a lot from our opponents. Thorfinn was always looking at Askeladd. At the beginning, he was only trying to find a good opportunity to kill him, but as time progressed, he learned that if he wanted to be stronger than him, he would have to learn his moves and his logic. Please make sure to understand that I'm not asking for you to be a stalker in real life, very far away from it. But we can learn a lot from others, especially from our rivals or our opponents in real life. You can learn a lot from your colleagues from work or school, or even off a rival if you practice some fighting sport. They could be using some software or technique that you never thought about that could completely shift your mindset and give you a totally new advantage. My study life changed after I saw some people using mind maps, so believe me when I say that every little detail can become something very huge eventually. The challenging bit may be overcoming your pride and understanding that you can actually learn something from who you don't like or maybe your rival, but if you think about the results you can get from it, you will soon get over it. Lesson 4. Violence is never the best approach. Little man Thorfinn was always up for a fight. He had a bad temper and he was pretty impulsive. But after becoming a slave and reflecting, he understood that things could actually be sorted in a conversation. Don't get me wrong, he soon understood that not everything can be sorted in a conversation and that sometimes you actually need to defend yourself. But the point is, we shouldn't go out there looking for a fight or an argument. It's so amazing how we can solve problems simply talking with an open heart. I know the practice may be hard for some people. Depending on the moment we are living in, or perhaps if we had a bad day, the chance of us going out there just waiting to hear that little thing that will piss us off, ready to start an argument, is very high. But that's where it comes from, being able to manage your triggers. If you know you are not in the right mood, isolate yourself. Do things that relax you and wait to be better before starting a new conversation. If you never underestimate the power of self-awareness and open conversation, you are totally in the right path. Lesson 5. Be patient when life seems hopeless. After Thorfinn became a slave, he lost track of everything. It seems like he was only surviving and he couldn't see the point of anything else. Later, he found a new purpose, but that took time. The lesson this leaves for us is that we should be patient when life seems hopeless, and that applies for ourselves and for others. When people are facing a depression, it may be hard to support. Everyone deals with it in a different way, so the best approach depends on the person. But patience, this is a key ingredient for everyone. If you are facing a depression, it's important to do everything you can to get out of it. But trusting and having patience towards the healing process will definitely help. Now, if you are supporting someone who has depression, avoid forcing things. Have patience and respect their own time and pain. A lot of patience comes with understanding that we don't know everything, so try to keep that in mind and remain open for whatever life may bring to you. Lesson 6. Growth comes with self-reflection. Thorfinn would never think about looking for Vinland again if it wasn't due all the self-reflection he did during his period as a slave. And because of that, he transformed himself and he grew as a person. Now in life, it's common to avoid thinking about our traumas or things that makes us feel uncomfortable in a certain way. It's true, we should respect our own limits and time, so there's no need to force yourself. But if you feel okay enough to work on something that usually bothers you, you should. Whatever is a bullying episode at school or some kind of verbal abuse, whatever came up to your mind, if you feel okay enough, you should work on it. And you can do that by thinking about it, writing about it, and if this is something you can afford, you should definitely try therapy with a professional you identify yourself with. And that's because talking to someone who won't judge you and who will guide the conversation in a way that will make you work on your own feelings, traumas, triggers, and find your own answers on your own way can be pretty great. Lesson 7. The right people can speed up the healing process. After Thorfinn met Einar, he started to open himself again. He started to care about someone, and those daily chats actually brought some light into his life. Translating this to reality, let's be very clear. The right people can speed up the healing process. If you're in a bad shape and surrounded by the wrong people, you need to make yourself a way out of it, or create some kind of defense mechanism. However, if you have the opportunity to be surrounded by good, kind-hearted people, there is a big chance they can help your healing process. It's great to feel safe to talk to someone. Previously, we talked about therapy, but as far as a professional chat can be helpful, talking to someone who actually cares and is open to listen to you can also be great. If you have someone you feel like you can trust, try to talk to this person more often and make sure to don't isolate yourself. Lesson 8. Appreciate your own effort. During the second season, Thorfinn was looking empty, but he was working very hard on his farm and he was always avoiding a fight. However, when he punches a farm worker who was making fun of his and Einar's effort in the farm, that was definitely one of the first signs of his change. Many times we don't appreciate our own efforts. Many times we take too hard on ourselves and we don't see the beauty on what we create. Whatever this is, a code, art code, drawing, painting, whatever you like to create. Thorfinn shows us that we should appreciate and respect our own efforts. The time and dedication that we put into our work or hobbies is truly magical, so we should make sure that everyone appreciates it properly, including ourselves. Now I want to appreciate your opinion, so please share in the comments your favorite moment of Thorfinn or Vinland Saga. And if you're up for it, consider sharing the comments or in the form I'm leaving on my description a nice life lesson you learned or perhaps a hard moment you've been facing lately. And remember that your feedback is what will shape the content we say in this channel. There's not an actual conclusion, since Thorfinn Saga is still ongoing. But until now we could see how grief, revenge, lack of purpose, and a new hope can shape someone's life. Sometimes we'll be on angry mode for a long period of our lives because we are unhappy with the moment we are living in. Or sometimes we may simply feel like we have no purpose. But keep in mind that as the days pass by and you keep doing your best, even if it's just for surviving, you're already giving yourself a great chance to start again. Remember to believe in yourself and believe in a better day. That's it for today's video. If you enjoyed or heard something relevant, please support the channel with your like and subscribe. And if you heard something that may help someone else, please make sure to share the video. That's it for today, and I'll see you next time.